Hey, what's up? This is Box Up Nation, and we'll be talking about the recent events that occurred this past weekend. Oscar Valdez versus the Filipino guy, Luke Campbell versus George Linares, and past events too, including Triple G versus Canelo, and future events that will occur down the line of the year, which is Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz, and Lomachenko and Ringo Dow. So, what do y'all guys want to start off with?
Well, I think we should just talk about Triple G and Canelo for sure.
All right. So, like I said, I thought the end result was fair. I felt like both fighters didn't do enough. They didn't impose their style or their will more than the other. I felt like it was a fair. Many may argue that Triple G won, and I mean that's a good argument to make because he did keep the pressure. He didn't get tired, whereas Canelo he got tired. He fatigued for like 3 rounds. But the thing is that Triple G only was throwing jabs and right hands. Like he wasn't really putting a lot of punches together. So it's like that's the downside. Like maybe he was scared to get countered. Maybe he went to the body by Canelo. And I thought Canelo landed the harder and more flush shots versus Triple G. And I'm sure that Don't get me wrong. I felt like Triple G had his fair shot, fair like power shots that he got in too. So I just felt like the draw was fair enough. Like I said, many will argue that it wasn't, but I'm ready to see fight number 2. I thought it was a great fight. I wouldn't mind paying for that. I mean, we paid for the pay-per-view. Wouldn't mind paying for it again. It was a great fight.
Yeah, we're rewatching it because they're showing the replay before the what's his
Campbell Linares.
yeah that fight, and I don't know, just during the rewatch, I thought for sure Canelo should have won that fight.
I mean, I could, like I said before, like what everybody's been asking me and shit, and I'm like, I could see it scored 3 ways. One, Triple G, Canelo, draw. I think the draw is fair. Honestly, I had Canelo ahead by a round or 2. I don't think Triple G did enough. He threw a lot of punches, but a lot of the punches were being slipped and picked off. The cleaner, harder shots were landed by Canelo. And the biggest thing with me is this. Who was known as a knockout artist? Who was known as a guy who hits hard? And who was the one who was throwing the harder, cleaner shots?
Canelo.
That's the reason why I feel Canelo won. I think he dictated where the fight went. Whenever he moved, he moved. Whenever he wanted to fight in the center of the ring, he fought in the center of the ring. Triple G just didn't land clean, hard shots to me.
I mean, he don't get me wrong, he did land a few, but I felt like you said,
but
who was a knockout kind? Who the knockout guy? Who's the heavy hitter?
It was just who was more consistent with it. He landed the only good shot that I seen him land. It was like
that loopy hook he throws.
Yeah, but that was it.
He landed the right hand too.
He had 12 rounds, and then only that when you got a guy on the ropes. Whenever Triple G got an opponent on the ropes, usually he goes in there and he
demolishes him.
But he couldn't do that with Canelo, and that's the biggest reason why I think Canelo won the fight, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I can see it all 3 ways because Canelo gassed out. He looked submissive, although I think a lot of shots weren't really landing. But it just he looked like the guy losing. And also, too, the commentary, I think, with the exception of Roy Jones Jr., they were pro Triple G, in my opinion.
I think the one that was unbiased a lot to me was, like you said, Roy Jones. I felt like the other guys were a bit biased. I don't know what it was or why were they came off a bit biased towards Triple G. I mean, honestly, like
I guess it depends on what you like to see.
I guess if you like somebody who comes forward and who's always the aggressor, that's what you're gonna tend to like. Okay, he's winning the fight. But I mean, like if you watch the fight, don't get me wrong, Triple G did land some shots, but Canelo picked. He got out the punches. He rolled out those punches. Like he took the impact away from him. Like Triple G had a real hard time landing flush shots. And when he did, I mean, he had his flush shots. He did land some hard shots, but I felt like Canelo had the better, harder shots.
Yeah. And also, I mean, it was like if Canelo would have finished strong, like the last 20 seconds of the fight, it wouldn't have been a question. People wouldn't really have questioned it. Because he would have finished strong and the rounds would have. Because a lot of those rounds, in my opinion, although I think Canelo edged them out a bit for most of the rounds, a lot of those rounds could have been up for grabs. Like if, say, Triple G exploded and landed a nasty-ass combination towards the end, I think the round could have swayed.
Towards him,
yeah. So if Canelo would have finished stronger, I think he would have been no question.
Yeah.
But anyway, what do you think, Paul? What do you think about it?
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like definitely it was a really close fight, but to me, like a lot of the Triple G shots just simply miss. And then when he missed, he took a combination from Canelo pretty much most of the exchange. So like, because my thing is like I'm not really focused on like, oh, who's running back or who's like, or who looks to miss. I'm looking at who wins the exchange, and for the most part, Canelo won the exchange. And like, yeah, it was kind of close. Like I felt he could have done more, but at the end of the day, to me, it's like he won. He had to got the better of the exchange most of the fight. So
Yeah.
that's why I thought. That's why I thought Canelo should have took it. But understandably, I think he could have done a lot of things better.
Yeah,
I
and
think
that's
both fighters could have done a lot of things
and that's
better.
why that's why I say I could see it scored all three ways depending on what you like to see.
Yeah, to me, I think the draw was fair.
Yeah, I really
don't
do.
mind. I
They
don't
need
mind
to
seeing
do it
the fight
again.
Yeah,
But I want to see it on HBO because they don't need to do a pay per view. If
Yeah,
they're gonna do a
fuck
pay per view,
that.
they need to stack that fucking undercard because the
that
undercard was garbage,
trash,
fucking garbage,
trash,
god awful.
terrible undercard.
Now what's next?
We could talk about Oscar Valdez versus the Filipino.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see the whole fight. I watched a few rounds and then I seen the highlights. A lot of things. I think Oscar Valdez is a great fighter, but a lot of things that I did see him do that I thought will kind of bite him in the ass later was he throws everything with power and very wide. And I was like, whenever he steps in competition with another guy who can take those shots and return them, he might be in trouble. And he got knocked down this fight and roughed up too.
Yeah, I kind of was. I mean, to me, it was honestly wasn't impressive. I felt like he could have made the fight a lot easier. Come on, he was a two-time Olympian. So when you go to the Olympics during his time frame, it was a get hit, don't get hit. It was a point system. So you had to box. Like he was a slugger style, but he boxed. Now that he's made that transition to the pros, he throws everything with power. He's so used to knocking down his opponents that he got used to fighting one way. And not only that, even if you look at him hitting mitts, shadow boxing, when he fights, he has bad habits. He drops his hands, he slides out, he tries to look really pretty. And it bit him in the ass when he had fought the Filipino guy, because that Filipino guy was all game. He was an undefeated fighter, so he had no intentions coming in to lose. So he was coming in there basically kill or be killed. So he's going in there to win.
And it was a good fight.
It was a great fight. Yeah,
They both were going out there putting it on the line, trying to win.
Yeah. I just felt like since he's made that transition from the high level amateur to the pros, that he built bad habits where he kind of lost that discipline. Where they emphasize that in the Olympics, like hit and don't get hit.
I think this is just gonna make him a better fighter.
Yeah, I think he's gonna reflect back, and maybe if he does watch this fight, he's gonna be like, okay, I need to revert back to this just being more disciplined, because he got dropped the second one. Well, he didn't get dropped. He almost got dropped the second time, but he did the same mistake. He slid out with his hands down, trying to look pretty, and he got caught with a simple, like it wasn't even a strong right hand. If it was a right hand, it was like a straight punch. I don't know if it's a jab or right hand. He got wobbled, but the other one I believe was a right hand that dropped. It was flush, and he looked really vulnerable. So like if you fight somebody really, like how would you say, he has more tools in his set, the guy could have got him out. But this guy was a one-dimensional fighter, so he had that that leeway to get away with that. Yeah. If you fight somebody who's more strategic, who knows how to make those adjustments, who has more tools behind his set, then he would have got him out. But I'm glad he won. I feel like he's gonna learn a lot, and I think the other guy's stock went up. I don't remember his name, but I know he was from the Philippines. I think his stock went up, so you'll see him more in maybe more fights in the States.
Yeah, I mean, I think they both fought a good fight. I mean, Oscar Valdez, he's been tested. Now there's some thickness under his skin, so he's not gonna fold whenever he's under pressure. So that's a good thing to see, especially from a young prospect like that. A young rising guy like that.
All right. So yeah, that was a good fight. Just IGC. I think Valdez definitely needs to go back and start working on the basics, especially returning the hands, because that's simple crap. That's like like throw the punch, return the hand back.
I think what kind of maybe possibly got him in that bad habit was usually when he throws big shots like that, the guy in front of him falls. Exactly. But this time he had a guy who.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he got so used to fighting away and his opponents reacting in a way that he built bad habits, whereas he kind of forgot that discipline that they emphasize in the amateurs. Because I mean, he was a high level amateur. He was a decorated amateur, 2-time Olympian from Mexico. So you're not fighting scrubs. You're fighting the best of the best. You're fighting the best in the world. So you have to be on point in order to win. And I feel like he needs to revert back to that and emphasize that in his head. Like you can't slide out with your hands out. You got to be smart when you fight these guys. Like because you're only gonna fight better competition unless you cherry pick your opponents. And this guy was not cherry picked. This guy was here to give him a challenge, and that guy gave him a run for his money. Honestly,
it was a good fight for him, and I just think he's gonna definitely get better.
he's gonna improve for sure, and the other guy's stock's gonna go up too for me as well.
All right, so now we're talking about the Linares and Campbell.
Oh yeah, that was a good fight, man.
I didn't get to see the entire fight, but I saw like the last 7 rounds or 6 rounds, and I felt like Leonidas won the last 2 rounds, and then the 3 rounds prior to that, to the last 2, I felt like Luke Campbell just was outclassing him.
I think it was George. George started off very well. He was boxing. He was
Well, he got the knockdown early.
yeah. He got the knockdown early. He was going to the body. He was looking slick. But then it's like he stopped going to the body. He started throwing one punch, and then Campbell was able to get off. And maybe it was Campbell making the adjustment as well, because I mean Campbell's an Olympian, so he's not a scrub.
Yeah, he's a decorated amateur as well from
He's a
Great
gold
Britain.
medalist, I believe.
Yeah,
too.
he's a gold medalist. Yep,
Yeah. So
but he's not a scrub.
Yeah, but in my opinion, I think Linares, for the most part, had to have more rounds. He did better things. But Campbell did make some adjustments. But I think part of the adjustments Campbell made was some of the stuff that Linares started to slack off on.
Yeah, I feel like Campbell, like I said, like I think round 9, 8, and 7, he won those rounds clearly and decisively because Leonidas was getting a little complacent. He wasn't throwing combinations. He was throwing pop shots, and he was doing a lot of unnecessary moving. And I felt like, and honestly, if you watch those 3 rounds, I felt like Luke Campbell was landing the harder shots and kind of making them look silly. But Leonidas did his thing in the last 2 rounds. But I felt like the fight could have been a lot easier if he had just thrown every single time he engaged. He threw 3 to 4 punches, and he was just throwing that swift right hand, a swift jab. He was pop shotting like he was one punch. Like you're a fast fighter. Throw 3, 4 punches. Like a hook's gonna land if you follow through. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I mean, but Campbell also was, throwing that check hook pretty well too.
yeah,
That could have been, that reason why he was just
scared
throwing
to
one
throw.
shot. Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like he could have got away with it because the speed.
But
He
then
has the speed.
yeah, that's true. Because then whenever he picked it up in the last round, you definitely seen that, he was.
And not only that, the
better
knockdown.
fighter.
If you look at the knockdown, he lead with the left, right hook, and he dropped it.
And
No.
also, too,
He
like,
lead with the left hook and then dropped the right hand, and that's what dropped him. He didn't throw that combination. I guarantee if he would have threw that combination again and again, he would have dropped him again. Because the left hook set up the right hand to drop him.
And also too, he was giving him body work, so he was giving him up and down. He was giving different angles,
Yeah,
and for some reason he stopped throwing to the body.
yeah, it was weird. I think Luke Campbell's a great fighter. It was a great fight though. I would like to see
it was
that.
a really good fight.
I'd
It
like to
was
see him
super
fight
entertaining.
again. Yeah, so it was a great fight for both, honestly. And, he called out Mikey Garcia, so I think Mikey would take him out. But that's a different
I don't
story.
even know if Mike wants to go back down though.
He said if he wants to 140, you go 140.
That's a dangerous fight for Oscar, especially with those back.
Oscar,
Oh, sorry.
Leonidas.
Sorry. Okay.
I think that's a good fight though, because
I just like if he fights the same way he fought Luke Campbell, I think Mikey knocks him the fuck out. Honestly,
I think it's a good fight to be made.
Well,
Either way,
when you fight Mikey, you gotta throw punches. You can't throw one shot because Mikey's gonna throw 3, 4 punches,
And Mikey's very disciplined because we've seen that in his last.
and his
fight.
timing is really good. So
yeah, but as I'm saying, either way, it's gonna be a good fight.
that's gonna be a good fight. I just feel like
Either way,
I
it's
feel like
be a
Mikey's
good
gonna
fight. Boxing's
knock his ass out.
Boxing's been killing it. It's like this last few months, man. Just good. Fight.
Yeah, man, the good fights have been made. Sometimes with boxing, it's kind of frustrating because you get guys who, are reluctant to step in there, and some of it's maybe not the fighters themselves, but the promoters and management, and
Business aspect to
Yeah.
the sport.
But this time around, man, we got Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz, which I'm very excited about. I think that's gonna be a fucking badass fight. Hopefully, the winner gets Joshua. If
Yeah.
Joshua comes away with the win with this
Like-
other guy, which he probably will.
Because you remember watching Ortiz fight, like, man, this is the person Wilder needs to fight, but
Yeah, man. But the thing is like, you just don't know because the age.
Yeah. And I'm about to,
He's an older Cuban. He got some skills. He got pop, and we seen Wilder get roughed up against some bums.
that's the whole thing is like.
So
I just
it's
feel like
see,
Waters has improved every single fight. I felt like
he's gotten better.
He's a lot better fighter.
Yeah, he's gotten better every single fight, but he's still been roughed up against some bums.
Yeah. But the thing is Luis Ortiz has never fought a guy like him.
But you could say the same thing about Wilder.
Fought Stavern, whoops Stavern.
Stavern ain't Ortiz. Ortiz has a better pedigree.
Plus, Stavern had that crap where he was literally so dehydrated, his muscles were like, was it like squishy?
Yeah.
So that's the other thing about that fight. Like, he looked good in that fight, but Stavern was not Stavern.
And yeah, like when I was like, what is this dude doing? Like Stavern wasn't looking like Stavern usually looks. And credit to Wilder, I mean, he did what he was supposed to do. And like I said, Wilder has gotten better every single fight. It's just this is an interesting fight. One, because
it's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah, because this is a step up in competition for both dudes.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited to see that. But let's speak on Andre Ward's retirement. He had a great career, undefeated, great career. He beat Sergey Kovalev twice. I feel like the first fight was a bit controversial. I thought Kovalev won, in my opinion. Second fight, he took him to the doghouse and made him quit. If you watch that fight, Kovalev was looking for a way out. So Kovalev was beat mentally before the end of the whole result.
And you know what's kind of weird? Whenever they started questioning him about the cap, and that's why I was like, man, that nigga might come out fucked up. It's because whenever they were talking about John David Jackson, who I thought was his real trainer, they were saying, no, this other guy who was some Russian guy was like, no, he's the head trainer. All John David does is mitts. And then I was like, there seems to be like some kind of tension in that camp. And I was like, you don't want that coming in with Andre Ward. And I was like, but we'll see. Maybe they always had it like that. But it just didn't seem right. Like if it's always been like that. Because it was, to my understanding, that John David Jackson was the head guy in the corner.
I thought he was his head trainer. So.
Yeah, so then I was like, man, they said that on 24/7. I was like, man, Kovalev might be fucking up on this one.
Because, like, even during the fights with John David Jackson, John David Jackson giving him the right advice and, like, you know, taking the lead.
And then it was so strange because in that fight, John David Jackson wasn't saying shit.
Well, yeah, because
if I remember correctly, if my memory serves me correctly, he wasn't really saying anything.
I feel like Kovalev didn't show up to fight.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, but whenever you got this big fight with the guy who's, you know, one of the best middleweights of all time coming in there, and you got tension in your camp, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, although Andre Ward did what he was supposed to. The first fight, I honestly think Andre Ward lost. The second
I thought
fight,
he lost too.
The second fight, Andre Ward, and I said this too. I said Andre Ward's gonna come out there like round 13, and he's already made the adjustments. It was just we see what Kovalev does, and that's what Andre Ward did. He came out there like round 13. He already had Kovalev's timing. He took Kovalev to the doghouse, like you said, and Kovalev was looking for a way out. Man, he bitched out.
He punked out, honestly. So anybody who makes an argument that he was a low blow, it's bullshit.
And they were low. They were low. Like some of them legitimately were low blows, but at the same time, man, if somebody's fighting dirty, you gotta fight
dirty
filthy.
back. And this isn't the amateur. You gotta stand your ground. Even Roy Jones said, if somebody hits me low, I'm gonna hit them low. It's just part of the game. It's the pro game. Like this isn't the amateurs where you complain to the ref.
You gotta Durant that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Somebody fights, you gotta fight dirty. You gotta fight them filthy. You gotta be a savage in there. And it's like, and if the ref's not helping you out, you gotta make your fucking breaks. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta force your fucking breaks.
I don't know. Kovalev was, to me, whenever you're asking for the ref to do this and that for you, you're just looking for a way out. In my opinion, you're looking for a way. And a guy who's famous for doing that is Julio Jr. Oh, he hit me low. Oh. He's looking for a way out. So that's what I saw. That's what I had seen whenever Kovalev was doing that. So I feel like he mentally beat him and he broke him down. He took him to the doghouse. He couldn't hang, and he was like, "Oh shit, I can't keep."
And Andre
started looking for a way out.
I think the shots were legitimately. I think some of those shots were legitimately low.
Oh, for sure.
But at the same time, man, whenever the ref's not giving you any breaks, you gotta create your own. This is the fight game. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's you in there with another man, and you gotta protect yourself, and you gotta handle your business. But I mean, did you want to speak on it?
Oh no, the only thing I gotta say is like, well, it's kind of good to see that he has a fight coming up.
Kovalev?
Yeah. He's fighting, I think it's another Russian dude. I'm not exactly sure, but
you know what the fight needs to be made is him and Stevenson.
That'd be a good fight.
But I honestly think Stevenson don't want that.
Stevenson's a punk. Like, don't even mention it. I don't even can't even stand the guy. This guy's he's a clown.
Yeah,
Stevenson's a
motherfucker is a
clown.
clown.
He's a fucking clown. He ducks everybody. Like, he's not even worthy to be in the mix.
That's the definition of paper champion.
He's a fucking paper, bro. He's a fucking clown, dude.
For you guys who don't know what we're talking about Donna Stevenson, right?
Yeah.
Donna Stevenson.
The fake
Superman.
Superman.
When he
Superhead.
fights in Canada, the guy's a clown, dude.
Yeah, man.
yeah. Yeah, was it? When's the last time I seen Stevenson fight?
He fought in Canada the last time, I think.
Who
Was that
who
Pete?
gives a fuck where the last time he fought? Because he didn't fight nobody.
That's true. Oh,
But
so like, oh yeah. Anyways, go.
whenever we could talk about Rico and
Oh, yeah.
Mischenko.
Talking about a good year of boxing, we got Wilder Ortiz, then we got Lomo versus Rigo. This is a good match.
For sure. Honestly, man, I'm Team Rico. I'm going for Rico. I think the younger man's gonna pull it off though. But I gotta go with the Cuban. I have to go with the Cuban. I gotta support Rigo. And I hope he beats his ass.
My heart goes for Rigo, but this is a young man's game. And I feel like Lomachenko has the youth behind him. That's slightly edged for him. I feel like Rigo's not young. He's older. I just want to see him react to the speed, the combination, and the footwork that Lomachenko's going to bring. I don't know if he's going to be able to adjust to it because he hasn't fought somebody like that in a very, very, very long time. But then again, he's an old school pro. He knows all the tricks in the book. So it's going to be a great fight. My heart goes for Rigo. I want Rigo to win in my heart. But to be a realist, I think Lomachenko's going to take it. I don't know how he's going to take it, but I think he's going to take it.
I see it maybe. It's just a really tough fight. I think the younger man's gonna take. I think Lomachenko's gonna take it. I think he got the skills and he got the athleticism and he got the youth behind him.
I mean, this is a very good fight. It's super interesting. It's not gonna be a slugfest. It's gonna be a technical fight.
I don't think it's going to be boring, though. I really don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be very entertaining.
I think it's gonna be a good fight, but I think it's not gonna be a fight where like the casual fan's gonna be crazy.
I
about
think
it.
it's going to be exciting, believe it or not, because Rigo's a savage, Loma's a savage. They like to fucking like
I think
embarrass their opponents.
I think it's gonna be more like a slow burn fight where it's gonna start off very, very technical and then it might heat up, but it's not gonna be crazy from.
I
the
think it's
get-go.
gonna take 3 rounds and it's gonna heat up and then they're gonna. It's like because they're the guys. They're the macho guys. They're the competitors. They don't know what being number 2 is. It's macho versus macho. Like pride's gonna get in the way. Like if this
I
guy
think it's
starts
gonna be a
outclassing,
technical
I
fight.
feel like if this guy starts outclassing him in a certain spot, he's gonna try to answer the same way back. So I think it's gonna get a really exciting. I think 3 rounds they're gonna fill each other out. And it's gonna get really. I think it's gonna be one of the most exciting fights. We'll probably see. I don't know how the end result's gonna be, but I don't know. It's gonna be crazy.
I don't know, but I'm Team Rigo. I think it's gonna be like more of a technical fight than anything.
I don't think so. I don't
But
think so.
Maybe
I think
some exchanges.
I
but
think
more
Rico's gonna
technical.
go out there and put it all on the line. He has to. I mean, what after he makes this fight, what's left? What other fights does he have left after Loma? I mean, there's nothing really for him after that. I mean, if he beats him, that's it.
He's a man.
If Loma beats him, Loma moves on. Rigo's done, really.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Rigo will still fight, but
He's gonna still fight, but,
but
I mean,
after
what's
that
the point?
win,
Yeah.
there's no topping that because he already beat the guy who is everybody says is the best.
Yeah.
And I think he's super good. I'm glad they made this fight now rather than waiting until Rigo's 50. You know what I mean?
I kind of felt like that's where they were going for too. I felt like Lomachenko was honestly, I think a person who had a lot to do with this. To be honest with you, was I have to say Conor McGregor had a lot. I felt like he's the reason why they made the fight happen. He was because Lomachenko was talking shit to him, talking about he wanted to be a sparring partner. He was like, "Don't you got go? Hey," he was like basically telling him like, "Shut up, go make the fight with Rigo." I felt like that kind of like ignited to push that fight.
I mean, I don't think Conor McGregor has that much power in the boxing world.
I don't think so, but I mean, as man to man, somebody tells you to go fight and worry about that and don't worry about me. You're gonna feel some type of way.
Nah, I don't think so,
Hold on.
man.
I also honestly think Lomachenko doesn't give 2 shits about McGregor because Loma's like.
I mean, he put his name in his mouth before. McGregor never mentioned him.
No, because McGregor's all just talking shit about boxing in general. Like he was making the clown, was supposedly making clowns of sparring partners, and Loma was like, "Oh, you want a real sparring partner? Call me up." And then McGregor just said that shit. So he's like,
Just to not get it anywhere near that, in my opinion.
because he knew Lomachenko was not gonna go soft. He's not gonna.
And not only that, you're not gonna have your way with Lomachenko. I mean, TJ Dillashaw was getting, not no disrespect to TJ because
I mean, I'm not speaking as far as sparring. I'm speaking like him as like he came into him like him as a fighter. Like you got a fight to worry about. Make this fight happen.
I mean,
Don't
but
worry
the same
about
thing
me.
could be said about McGregor too.
It's like he has like
He's fought everybody.
no, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't.
Who y'all worried about? I
He
mean,
hasn't fought Frankie. He hasn't fought anybody in the featherweight.
it's coming. It's gonna happen.
I don't think
The guy doesn't duck anybody.
I think he's just sick of boxing. The guy used to boxing money, man.
Well, fuck it. Why would you go back if you can make millions?
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't think he's a. Cause he talks about he fights everybody. He has like he just
He
fights.
technically has.
He fought who?
Not really.
He knocked out Jose Aldo in like
That's
first
the one-
round.
that's-
But he didn't give him the rematch either.
He beat the shit out of
Eddie Alvarez.
Eddie Alvarez.
is a
Yeah, and then the guy
banana,
Chad. What's the other guy? Chad.
I mean, Chad was on his way to winning, but that was a short notice too. So yeah, I really can't give him that much credit for
He's
that.
like, don't get me wrong. I like McGregor. I like how he fights. He basically shows these people like good timing and like good boxing timing. Like kind of is a good key to win. But to be honest, he just if you look out on the surface, he has fought everybody in multiple divisions. Like, but he really hasn't. He's like he avoided Frankie Edgar. He hasn't fought Frankie.
That's for
Edgar.
sure.
And even in the featherweight, he's like, I think he would.
That's kind of weird because the way it's not. I feel like Frankie got sidebarred because he had the whole Nate Diaz situation. He had lost to him, so he was more focused on getting that fight again. So it's like, like I'd rather have that fight. And it's to me, the Nate Diaz and the McGregor is a lot bigger fight for him. Was a bigger paycheck than the Frankie Edgar fight. Just to be honest, Frankie Edgar's not that guy where he draws a lot of people. Like you have to be a certain kind of fan of the sport to like for me, I love Frankie Edgar. I love to see him fight, but I don't know. He's not that crowd pleaser. He doesn't have that it factor to him for some reason. I don't know why, but he doesn't.
I mean, I like watching Frankie fight.
I think he's one of my favorite fighters to
yeah,
fight.
but at the same time, it's like I think they avoided Frankie.
And I feel like the UFC doesn't market him I feel like they strategically don't market him a certain way. And that's the reason why he doesn't get that level of that crowd behind him, that influential factor, that it factor. And I feel like that a lot of it has to do with the UFC not backing him up to the fullest to like they and I feel like that's why McGregor elevates a lot because they're behind him, they push him, they market him. And not only that, he is brash. And you're brash, you make noise, you're gonna get a reaction.
But anyway, I still don't think him opening his mouth about Lomachenko made Lomachenko take the fight.
I think it kind of influenced him.
No,
don't
I
think
think
so.
that fight's been in the works because that fight's been talked about for a long
Yeah,
time.
it took him a
And-
long ass time to sign the contract.
Well, I think like
Rico kept calling his ass out, and he doesn't want to make the fight, but Rico was like, I don't want to make this fight. Let's make this fight happen. I don't know. That's just me. I feel like you as a fighter, man, just sign the contract. I mean, if the deal's good, the deal's good. Sign the contract.
Yeah, but I still don't think McGregor had anything to do with it.
Yeah,
anyway,
I just how fights take a while to get made because contracts go back. Anyways, speaking of UFC, like
I mean, is there any other fights that we need to speak on before we proceed with anything?
for boxing,
We could talk about the Jesse Hart and Gilberto Ramirez, the 35-0 Mexican. What is he, like middleweight?
I saw that car that passed by the whistling like a motherfucker.
oh, the guy who just fought for the title.
Yeah,
He
that
just
was a
won?
great fight.
I didn't bother watching it.
I got to see the last bit of it, but I saw the highlight reel. It seemed like a really, really an exciting fight.
Maybe like a couple rounds, and I didn't really catch my attention.
They looked like they were going at it, but the guy's a good fighter.
I didn't. But for some reason, it was supposed to be on ESPN, but it was they I guess they switched it over to ESPN too. So when I recorded it or when I was watching it, and I was kind of half-ass watching it, it would show it for a little bit and then switch off back to that bullshit ass baseball game. And then when I hit record,
They recorded the baseball game.
it recorded most of the baseball game, and then I didn't really get to see Oscar Valdez's fight.
You know, I hate when they do that shit because like especially they do that shit a lot with the UFC on Fox. They're like, oh, we're switching it to Fox Sport 1. I'm like,
And yeah, I was like, man, y'all
Remember-
stick to one goddamn station, you fucking morons.
especially when I'm recording that shit because like it would record the fight, but it would cut off the main event.
Yeah, like, god damn it, that shit's annoying.
And
You fucking cable company suck dick. All y'all.
It's just frustrating, right? Because like even when I record fights, like if we record the fight, then I go watch. It wouldn't finish the main event because like It was.
It's not in that time slot.
But we talked about what we had to talk about though, right?
Yeah, well, I think so.
Yeah, I think we covered most of boxing. Like, but there was a really fun highlight reel from this past UFC this weekend. So they just if you haven't checked it out.
Nah, I mean I haven't been really keeping up with the UFC. To me, it's there's nothing exciting going on for
Oh,
the
there's
UFC.
a pretty good card coming out, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I just haven't been keeping up with it lately.
Get ready for some sake bombs there.
Oh yeah, this dude looks pretty tight, bro.
What guy are we speaking
You'll
about?
see it, bro.
You see it.
Some Chinese, Japanese guy?
Nah, he's Turkish, I think.
Turkish, okay. And this guy?
You'll see, bro.
You'll
Just keep
see.
watching.
Okay, we'll see.
It's fucking nice.
Anyways, what about that Japanese guy, that decorated Japanese fighter?
Oh,
Damn.
But like that really doesn't do the fight justice. So when he first came out, he had like a 2-year layoff. So he was kind of getting roughed up because he got a little tired. But man, when he first started, he was throwing beautiful fucking hooks.
Oh yeah, good like triple hooks and like
Fucking crisp. He looked sharp, man.
yeah.
I mean, I just got to get back in tune with the UFC. I mean, boxing's been so good lately that's all I've been eyeing so far. I haven't been focusing on anything else. And there's really nothing exciting. I mean, the most exciting fight that I had seen was John Jones and Daniel Cormier, and I said John Jones would not beat the shit out of him. But then we come to find out the guy's on steroids. Like, come on,
that
bro.
shit
It's
was
like,
whack.
bro, like how many, like, dude, like he keeps fucking up.
But this next UFC is gonna be bad, bro.
All right, what are we looking at?
We're looking at UFC 217.
Who's on the card?
GSP versus Bisping.
GSP's gonna fucking out wrestle him and make it a boring fight.
I don't know about that. I think
Bisping's gonna
looking
get
good,
his
man.
ass taken to school.
I don't know about that,
He's
bro.
a scrub when it
But
comes to
hopefully,
champions.
whoever wins gives fucking Anderson.
When he
the
fights
title
real
shot.
champions, he's a scrub.
He fought Dan Hendo and whooped him.
Dan had knocked his ass out the first fight.
Yeah, but the second fight, he was getting roughed up, came back and beat Dan Hendo.
Well, besides
Fucking, he fought Anderson Silva, old Anderson Silva, and lost, but they gave him the fight.
Wait. But that's what I'm hoping happens. I hope he fucking wins, gives Anderson Silva the title shot. Anderson Silva whoops his ass and retires champ, bro.
I would like to see. I would like to. I would like to see.
clean.
I would like to see GSP beat. I think he's gonna beat. I mean, with the wrestling itself, he's gonna make it boring. He's gonna out wrestle him the whole entire fight, and then I want to see him fight Anderson Silva for a title. That would be a dream fight come true.
Yeah, man, that would be dope. But yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool too.
I'm not a big fan of as you could tell. I'm not a big fan of Michael Bisping. I think he just talks a lot of shit and really doesn't.
That's the fight I really want to see, though.
Yeah.
That's
TJ
the
Dillashaw.
fucking fight.
Cody Garbrandt, yeah,
Garbrandt.
that whatever his name is, that motherfucker's gonna beat TJ Dillashaw. If TJ Dillashaw couldn't beat Dominic Cruz, this guy's gonna get fucking whooped, bro. Like Cody made Dominic Cruz look like just he outclassed him.
He looked
bro.
like a rook, bro.
He made him look like shit, like bro, like. I was so pro Dominic Cruz, like man, Dominic Cruz gonna knock this dude out. He ain't only have a chance, bro. Man, he made me look stupid, bro. I didn't even think he had a chance. He did the opposite. He made Dominic Cruz look like the idiot. I looked like an idiot after. I was like, bro, I was on Facebook, man. This isn't even a contest. Why? And everybody was coming back like, dude, like you're a fucking idiot. He flipped his ass. Like, well, fuck. I didn't see it coming, but I mean, TJ Dillashaw, I don't know. I mean, he's a good fighter, but. I mean, if you couldn't be Dominic Cruz and you struggled, I mean, so I know styles make fights, but I just feel like I think Cody's gonna whoop him.
Yeah, Garbrandt is fucking.
Garbrandt, yeah.
He's fucking
good,
man.
But besides that, as the co-main event, the other fight on here is Joanna Champion.
That bitch is bad, bro.
I really don't watch the female
versus
fight.
Doug.
She's tight, bro.
I know that. I know she's a good fighter, but I can't get into. I can't.
Bro.
The only female fighter I like watching is Nunes and Cyborg. Those are the motherfuckers they fight. I'm like, damn, I like watching them fight.
I think you need on the J train, bro.
Yeah, bro, you need to get on Joanna Champion. She's tight, bro.
I know she's tight. I
just
can't get into it. Like who the fuck is this person she fighting?
Doug Rose is actually pretty good.
Yeah, that Rose.
Bro, she's kind of good. That itself, I know she's super good. She's gonna beat the shit out of her. It's like I don't even want to bother.
Doug Rose been looking pretty good lately, though.
But this girl right here that y'all talking about, that I know is good, she whoops everybody's ass. Like I'm not even interested because every single time she gets in the octagon, she fucking whoops their ass. To me, I feel like she's gonna whoop this person. I don't even know who this person is.
Is Masvidal on this card?
Oh yeah.
I want to see Masvidal.
Masvidal, that dude is cool as fuck. I met him at the Nike store.
He's fighting Stephen Thompson, bro.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great
That's
fight.
gonna be
Because
interesting.
they're strikers. But yeah, Masvidal's a cool motherfucker. He's like, I think he's mixed Puerto Rican. That dude's cool as fuck. Real down to earth. So if you ever get to meet him, cool guy.
Yeah, I'm hoping Masvidal looks great in this fight.
I'm going for Masvidal. You gotta support your Latino people. I think he's Cuban mixed with I think
Puerto Rican?
Yeah, some shit
Or
like that. I'm
Mexican
for sure
or
he's
something.
Cuban.
He's mixed with something, but he has Puerto Rican or Cuban in.
Thompson's good. I like Thompson too, but man, Masvidal to me is very underrated. He's super good.
Yeah, I think from a striking standpoint, this is gonna be a great fight. I feel like Masvidal has more. He's more versatile than Stevenson. Because Stevenson, he fights one way and he sticks that one way. The counter and move and be real shifty on his feet and step back and counter. Masvidal, he puts it together to me a lot better.
Yeah, it's funny because like for the longest time I didn't know who Masvidal was until like what was that fight he got big in?
He beat the shit out of Donald Cerrone.
Yeah,
He
Yeah,
beat the
Cowboys
shit out of
ass.
him,
Yeah,
bro. I
man.
was like, what the hell? Who's this
I
guy?
started watching videos, man. He's like, you watch him fight, he does nice little subtle things, like in terms of like positioning.
Yeah, so you gotta watch his fight, maybe a couple of his fights to actually appreciate the things that he does. Because
Yeah.
if you just look at it at first glance, you're gonna miss it. But it's the details that make the biggest difference.
What was cool though is that I didn't even know there was a UFC event happening in Dallas. It was at the AT&T Stadium. It was him versus Damian Maya. It was cool. So I got to meet him. I was like, why does this guy look so familiar? And I was like, then I saw the shirt. I was like, oh, y'all box? You go, no, UFC. There's a UFC event. He's fighting. I'm like, oh, I know who you are. You fought Donald Cerrone and you beat the shit out of him. They're like, yeah. They started laughing. It was pretty cool. They were real cool guys. It was an entourage or whatever. Cool people. I'm like, who you fighting then? He's like, Damian